Chiba, can I borrow your math notes? I kind of fell asleep during the lesson. You scratch the back of your neck, blushing nervously. He nods shyly and gives you the stack of notes. You walk back to your seat and watch Chiba begin to talk to 𝗵𝘃. Chiba starts to snicker, which was weird since he's always so serious and stoic. Nah, Wayne, look. Chiba's laughing while talking to 𝗵𝘃. They look like the perfect couple, Kaina said, as Nagisa, Sujino, and Karma surround your table, looking at the quote-unquote couple. You're right. Koro-sensei appeared out of nowhere. His face was pink, and he was scribbling down gossips in his little notebook. You stared at them, your heart beginning to break. You want to break down and cry, but realize that you're still in school. So you try your best to hold it back and ignore the adult game protagonist. Nah, 𝗵𝘃, Chiba said, looking at his dear friend. 𝗵𝘃 hummed, looking back at her friend. I'm having trouble confessing to someone. Can you help me? He asked, his long bangs covering his eyes, though they weren't long enough to cover his cheeks, which were dusted pink. Just go for it, she said with her poker face. Oh, thanks. His sweat dropped. Maybe I should. It's worth a shot, he thought, starting to feel confident. You walked toward the vending machine outside the classroom building and bought your drink. Upon walking back to the classroom, ow, you fell and landed on your butt. Gomennasai. It was Chiba. You quickly stood up, wanting to walk away and ignore him, when, Wayne, I have to... You looked at him. What is he trying to say? He has to tell you something? I have to pee, he said quickly before running off. You stood there, processing what he had said. Pee? You muttered, confused. You shrugged and walked back to the classroom, joining your group of friends again. You told them about the incident that had just happened. I can't do it. I just can't, Chiba whined as he spoke with 𝗵𝘃. 𝗵𝘃 stayed quiet, thinking of a plan to get her poor friend to confess. Soon after a few minutes, 𝗵𝘃 suddenly stood up, scaring the hell out of Chiba. You were laughing at Isega's joke when 𝗵𝘃 walked towards you with a serious look. 𝗵𝘃? You asked. Meet me after school near the vending machine. With that, she turned and left. You tilted your head to the side, confusion written all over your face. You couldn't take your mind off of what 𝗵𝘃 had said. What does she want? You thought, mindly. Lessons began as per normal, and you continued to space out during class. You didn't care too much about studying. You were always getting high average marks. You were put into E because you handled a few students from A for teasing you the wrong way. Classes went by in a flash, and soon everyone stood up to greet bench-sensei goodbye. You remember that 𝗵𝘃 asked you to meet her near the vending machine, so you quickly packed up your stuff and bid your friends a goodbye. You rushed to the vending machine and was greeted by Chiba buying a drink. Hello, Chiba. You blushed and looked away. You were supposed to ignore him. Hurry up, 𝗵𝘃. Where were you? You thought. He handed you a can of your favorite drink. Thank you, you muttered, loud enough for him to hear. He simply nodded. There was a very awkward silence between you two. How are you, Chiba? You stuttered. He hesitated to answer. I'm fine, he muttered. Awkward silence swept the halls. Thank you for your math notes. Koro-sensei didn't suspect a thing. You scratched your cheek lightly, blushing. He simply nodded again. Awkward silence. Again. You know what? Fuck this. I should just get over him. He's not interested in me anyway. You thought, your heart coming to a crashing stop. The atmosphere dropped. Chiba could feel it. He had a bad feeling. I'm going home now. You stood up, your hair covering your eyes. You began to walk away, slowly, still looking down. Step, step, step. Wait, he grabbed your hand. You were shocked. You stared at the ground. I want to tell you something. You couldn't look up. You couldn't, because if you looked up, he would see the amount of redness that covered your cheeks. But you had to. He blushed, even more than you. You couldn't. You had no idea what to think. Spit it out, Chiba. You thought. You raised an eyebrow. Like you. Your eyes widened, but his cheeks had given it away a few moments before, so you weren't too surprised. He said it. He said it. He actually said it. Are you okay? He stuttered more than you could grasp. You touched your face and found out you were crying. Without knowing, you jumped and embraced him. I like you too. You were crying tears of joy. You could tell he was blushing more than ever. You released him, wanting to give him a kiss on the lips. But then you thought of a trick. You wanted to see his eyes, since he kept on covering them. You smirked and brushed his hair away. His eyes widened in a look of concern, shocked, and bewilderment. You were stunned and amazed by his beautiful eyes. I love you, Chiba. You smiled and kissed him passionately on the lips. His eyes were still widened, but then he melted into the kiss and closed his eyes, joining you. I love you too, he thought. Okay, so that is the end of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did not go to school today, so yeah. Fanfic link, music link will be in the description below, along with my Instagram and my Snapchat if you guys ever want to talk to me. I do not have the Discord no more because I don't really go on there, and when I do, not a lot of people, really no one's on there, so I do not have that Discord no more. However, I do have my Snapchat and my Instagram, but yeah, I'm gonna go edit this, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye, loves. I hope you have an amazing day, night, or afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. Goodbye.